Hey, I'm a lot brighter now because I'm using my computer as a light. Whoa, I am more white than normal. What's going on, everybody? And today, talking about this game, Comic Hunters. This is just the foil variants, or actually from a foil promos. I don't remember seeing any of these in the game, but what Comic Hunter is, from what I got to play, I played a little bit. I demoed it a little bit, and then my friend bought it, and we played it like 2 or 3 times. Really interesting game. So, it's little backstory here. It's a game made by someone from Brazil who managed to get some licensings for the artwork for Marvel. But come to find out, he didn't have license for a majority of it. So from what I've heard, it's not gonna get another printing unless they pay the extra for the licensing agreement. With that being said, each card has a number on the back. One being, if I remember correctly, one being more modern age, like 2000s, 2 being like 90s comics, such as like Spider-Man, like the way the art was done back then, Black Panther, Black Widow, what else? Iron Man, Hulk, the 90s style Captain America. I remember some of these, Thor, Doctor Strange, and then the other Spider-Man, the Web of Spider-Man. So these are foil. There's no non-foil ones, and the game, or the end game, is non-foil. So each card has a number, such as this. It's going to be on the back and also on the front right here. These represents the value, meaning as you collect them, you start building a hand each round, and the comics you want to keep, you have to pay with the other comics. So let's just say, hypothetically, this was a 3. So I have some cards, and let's say all these cards are 2s. Well, I have to pay 3, so 4, I lose $1, essentially, to get this. To make a, to make a collection, it has to be a minimum of 2 or more. So for me, I would have to have 2 Spider-Man. I'd have to buy for 2 Spider-Man. And I have 2 extra comics. I'm not really building Thor or Doctor Strange and Thor, so I would use those to buy for those comics. After that, you would put those aside. That would be part of your collection. I will put up a game board setup that is from Board Game Geek, which someone took a picture of. So you have your schedule, which is each step that you would go through, like the store, the flea market, the convention, and then you assemble your collection. Then you have, the comics that are worth a lot. You would have little tokens that represent the comic token, something like this, and there would be a total of 6. The first one being, so the first row being like the first comic, so could be on here, it's Captain America. Second row, the second highest value would be Black Widow and Hulk, and the third highest value would be Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Spider-Man. That just means what comics are really hot at this time, or during this gameplay, because maybe they're getting a movie, or something crazy is going to happen. Maybe it's a crossover, who knows? But so the more comic books you have of those collections, the more points you get. Then you have what is the auction, which is these little tokens down here, or this little blue setup with the little tickets from 1 through 15. You go through auction, you bid till someone bids all their tickets, or maybe they all stop. Any extra tickets that you have, maybe you waited till the end and you only bid 1 ticket, you got 14. Those tickets will convert over into victory points. And then you got highlights, which is that bottom board. You'll have tokens for that, like Gem Mint. Use some of these. Let me make it a little better to understand. Let me see. So you got like like issue. I think this is issue number 1. This would be the first appearance. This would be Jim Mint. Number 1. Do we have anything else? Oh, here we go. A new suit change. And then the other ones are just first edition. But there's other ones, which is like Versus and things like that. So you would want to get comic books. Ideally, your plan is to, let's say, Captain America is your top comics that you want to get because you want to get the most points. So if you have 3 or more of these, let's say this is the number 1 comic at the time. If you have 3 through 4, you get 6 points, and it progresses up. If you have 12 or more, you get 48 points, which is crazy, and things like that. So with the highlights, if you have, let's say, you have the most number 1s, you would get X amount of points. If you have the most costume, if costume change is part of it, if Versus is part of it, you would add all those up together, and you would get points based on those. The final thing is the variant of collection, meaning, let's say you have, you have a X amount of Spider-Man, X amount of Hulk, and X amount of Captain America. That's variants of 3. You would get points for that. If you have somehow make a collection of 8, you get 40 points. So there's different ways to get points. It's a fun game. I fairly enjoyed it. There was a few issues. I've noticed it as well with other people, is the packaging. A lot of people had damaged cards or miscut cards. A couple of the level 3 cards that we had were like dented on the back, but we were like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna sleeve them up anyways, just to preserve them. I guess some boards were kind of damaged and things like that. The game sold out fairly quickly, or was selling fairly fast at the convention. I guess it was because of the Board Game Geek review, the Dice Tower review, and then they were doing like a coupon where if you went and bought it at Barnes, I think it was at Barnes and Noble, or yeah, because I don't think Borders is around anymore. They did a coupon where if you go, you could buy it for the price that they were selling it at the convention. The game is 1 to 4 players. I don't know how you would play this as a 1-player game. I don't think it would be fun 1 player, and things like that. But I guess just to play, I wouldn't offer this as a 1-player game. Maybe 2 at minimum. Honestly, 4 players is the most fun. I guess it was Barnes and Noble. I would definitely say 1 to 4 players. If you could pick it up, I think we picked it up for $25. It might be $30 now or $35. It says it takes about 60 minutes, but once you kind of understand the game and everybody's good, it progresses pretty fast. I'd be happy to do some gameplay review of it if given the opportunity, if you guys are interested in that. But I kind of fairly went over all the rules. I didn't go over really scheduling because, again, I would need to set up everything to kind of explain it all. But it is a good game. Obviously, it's a points game. It says it takes about an hour to play, but again, once you kind of know the rules, I think we played this and it took us no more than like 35-40 minutes. But that's because we already demoed it and then we kind of had the feel of the land. But yeah, definitely I would say out of 10, it's a good, like 8. It's a good party game. If they get another printing of it, hey, awesome. If maybe they get lucky and they buy the licensings, they make like an expansion for it, maybe we get some like multiverse stuff. A lot of the comics are very, very noticeable. The very iconic covers. Some of them, if you're not really a big comic book person, some of them you'd be like, I don't remember that one. But it is a good game. Definitely highly suggest it. So give it a check. Maybe watch some reviews. I think some people are trying to get it onto the Steam's Workshop Tabletop Simulator. Definitely something you can always check out. Maybe you can't find it. But other than that, hey, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm talking about, subscribe. You have a board game that you want me to review. Maybe you're not 100% sure. Maybe I played it already. Let me know and I'll check it out. with that being said, be safe out there, and I'll see you around.